we're going to be doing. Hey, everybody, it's Ryan. I'm sorry, I forgot to say it. But here we go. We're going to be doing the LA Kings preview for today. So if you are a subscriber to my channel, thank you for watching. If you're not, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It doesn't hurt. It just lets you know, and then if you hit that notification bell, you'll also know when I drop new videos. So make sure to subscribe. Alright, now on to the Kings season preview. And before we start, I know I'm a Ducks fan. I am going to be objective here. I actually don't mind the LA Kings. A lot of Ducks fans probably have hate for them and vice versa. But for me, I still have a Kings jersey. Back when Matthias Nordstrom played for the team, but one of my favorite defenders there. But I'm going to be objective here. They're going to be a team that's going to be probably middle of the pack at best. Worst, they'll be bottom, in which case they get another good draft pick. Oh well, at this point. I don't think it's going to kill them to have another top draft pick, especially if they can get another defender. Wouldn't hurt, or if they can somehow get in a really good goalie. But we'll see. Alright, so Kings additions. Mark Alt, Mark Alt, 1 year, $700,000. He'll be a minor league defender, probably on the taxi squad. Same with Troy Grosnick, a goalie, 1 year, $700,000. Elias Anderson was added via trade at the draft. Everybody should remember him because if you look him up on YouTube, you're going to see a video of him throwing his silver medal from the World Juniors a few years back into the stands, which has not sat well for a lot of people. That's why he was sat out all last season. I'm pretty sure New York probably just wanted to find a way to get rid of him because he brings a lot of drama from what I understand, but we'll see. It doesn't really sit in my mind well hearing that about Swedes, because usually the Swedes are not that way, but everybody's different. So he signed a 1 year when they traded for him, $894,166 contract. Andreas Anthony just signed yesterday, 1 year, $1.2 million. That's a prove-it deal because he had not looked good in Edmonton. Oli Mata they added via trade. Who they lost now? Subtractions are Paul Ledoux to Washington and Joakim Ryan to Carolina. Both were extra defenders, basically. They played here and there. Sheldon Rempal to Carolina. Ben Hutton, Tim Schaller, and Trevor Lewis are all free agents still currently. And Brad Morrison to Chicago. I think Trevor Lewis is probably their biggest loss there, just from the fact he was with them for both Stanley Cups. So he provides a lot of grit and third line. A little bit of scoring here and there, but I can see why they let him go too with all the young kids they have coming up. Might as well let them play. I mean, if you're going to be at the bottom of the league, who cares? Let the young guys get experience. Now, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gotten a contract somewhere, or even a PTO at this point. Same with Ben Hutton. Matt Luff, 1 year, $700,000 contract. He re-signed with the team. He'll probably be a minor league or taxi squad extra. Sean Walker, 4 year, $2.65 million per season. Yeah, I gotta say, I honestly have never heard of this kid, Sean Walker. I mean, if he's getting that big a contract, he obviously provided something, but all the games I saw with LA, I don't remember his name. He did not stand out to me in any way if he was playing. I mean, maybe he was hurt, but I mean, I watch every Ducks versus LA game for the last few years, and I do not recall this kid's name. I really don't. Austin Wagner, I remember. He's fast, so I understand why they paid him what they did, $1.13333 million for the next 3 years. Carl Grunstrom, he looked pretty good to me, so I understand why they re-signed him, but he signed cheap. I was kind of surprised. $725,000 per for 2 years for him. LA sits real pretty with $12.4 million in cap space. They're only paying about $69 million this year in cap, so they might be able to take on some long-term injury reserve as long as someone takes back someone's contract, like a Quick or a Dustin Brown, I have a feeling. Because they're going to want to get out from underneath those two. I think they've been trying. They just have not found anybody to really do it. So, we'll see how that works out. Let's see. Forward-wise, you got Alex Iafallo as UFA, Andreas Anthony, Blake Lazat, Trevor Moore and Michael Amadio as RFAs. I mean, Anthony Seal, like I said, will all depend on how he does this year. If he plays more like he did with Detroit a couple of years ago, then he may get a bigger contract. But at the same time, I was kind of surprised they signed him with all the young guys that could have play this year. So, I mean, this may be more of a write-off year again for them. But, I mean, they still look dang good at the end of last season. I mean, they had, I think it was like 20 out of 21 games at the end of the season. They had one. So, they looked good at the end of the year. It's just, earlier in the year was god-awful, so they could not make the playoffs at that point. I wish they kept going because the Ducks might have got a better first-round pick that way, but it is what it is. And then you got defensively, I mean, you got quite a few guys there. I mean, Curtis McDermott is someone who may play here and there. I'm not sure about Michael Anderson. I'm not as familiar with him. Matt Roy or Matt Waugh, however he says it. I mean, you can either go the Patrick Waugh route or you can go the Derek Roy route. It's like, I don't know which way he says it. So he's an RFA after this year. They have both goalies signed. Like I said, they probably want to get out from under that Jonathan Quick one unless he can go on long-term injury. Which, like I said before, I don't want anybody to be hurt, but he's constantly hurt the last few years, so I'm not surprised if he gets hurt at the same time. Buyout history, they're paying $4 million for Dion Phaneuf this year, but that drops by $3 million after this year to $1 million. Terminated contracts, they're still paying for Mike Richards for the foreseeable future. And Ilya Kovalchuk, they're paying $6.25 million for this season. So after this year, they gain about almost $10 million in cap space from those. So that's not that bad. And then they still have a ton of space after this year. I mean, the Drew Doughty contract is going to be fine for the next few years probably, but kind of like the Erik Karlsson deal on San Jose, is going to be ugly probably at the end of that contract. So, good luck, because I think it's the first year of 8, and he's going to be like 38, 39 by the time that thing ends. So, good luck. See how that works out. I mean, as you can see, a lot of young entry-level contracts here. Like, I think all these are ELC until you get to, I'm going to try and say his name. This one's a tough one. Bokonji Imama. He's an RFA. I mean, Elias Anderson is an RFA. His is a prove you're worth what we traded for you deal. Which he could be very good. He was supposedly a good prospect for the New York Rangers, but like I said, the issues with that World Juniors throwing the medal in the stands, that kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. Hockey people are very... If you rub one team the wrong way, a lot of them will not accept you in because of it. And they don't like that sort of showing. That does not look well. Then you got Drake Rimshaw, RFA after this year. Matt Luff, Michael Esimont, I think is how you say it, is an RFA. Excuse me. This is my second time recording this, so I should drink some water between takes here. Alright, defensively, you got Tobias Bjornfoot, who may play some games this year. I don't know, he's still only 19, but he played like 10 games last year, I think it was. Kyle Clegg may get some games. Mark Alt could be a fill-in if there's injuries. And then, goaltending-wise, you had Troy Grosnick, who's a UFA after this year. Nope, I didn't go over the defenders. Kyle Clegg, Austin Strand, Jacob Mouvrer, and Daniel Brickley are all RFAs, and Mark Alt is a UFA after this year. 2020 draft, you got Quinn Byfield, or they got Quinn Byfield. He, as we've seen in this World Juniors, he went from everybody was saying, oh my god, he's going to be a bust. And then he had a 6-point game in the last game. So, he probably needs another year or two in the juniors, if they actually play. Because I think the last we heard, Canadian government was refusing them to play unless they played with no contact and no fighting. Which, why the heck are you playing hockey if you can't even hit somebody? I mean, the fighting, I think they mostly banned it in the juniors anyway, so it's boring to watch without that sometimes, but it is what it is. I mean, you don't want, they have like 14, 15-year-olds playing that. You don't want like a 20-year-old fighting a 15-year-old. That's not cool. Which they shouldn't be fighting at that age, I'm sorry. And then you have number 35, Helga Granz, and 45, Brock Faber. Those are a couple of young, from what it sounds like, going to be prospect defenders. Really good ones, so we'll see how they work out. Number 66, Casper Simontevale. I don't know how to say his name. Sorry ahead of time. Number 83, they got Alex Laferriere. Not Lafreniere, Laferriere. Or Laferriere. I don't know how to say it properly. French names can be tough. I'm sorry ahead of time. Number 112, Juho Markkanen, goalie. Number 128, Martin Kromiak, a right winger. 140, Ben Meehan, a defender. Number 190 Atu Jamson or Jamson. I'm going to guess Jamson, a right winger. So that's where they're at. They had a pretty good draft. I mean, they got some solid guys there. This is where their draft picks sit for next 3 years. 2022, 2023, they have all their own picks. 2021, they have all their picks except for their 7th round pick. They had no 7th round. But they also have St. Louis's 2nd round pick, Toronto's 3rd, and Calgary's 4th. So they may, depending on how this season goes, they may have more picks to add to that or next season. But that's where they sit as of now. Lineup-wise, first line they got Iafallo with Kopitar and Brown. I'm kind of surprised they have Brown on the first line still these days, but honestly, I'm surprised they don't plug him down onto the 4th line. He's not providing what he used to, but he is 36 now. So, I mean, he's at the downturn of his career, not the peak of his career, that's for sure. Other than that, Kopitar, is going to be solid. I mean, he's probably not going to provide the 90-odd some points he had 2 years ago. More like the 60, 70 he had this last season. Iafallo, good fast forward. I mean, he could separate from some defenders, that's for sure. Adrian Kempe, Gabriel Velarde, and Martin Ferk. I could honestly see, what's his name? Alex Turcotte plugging in there instead of Martin Ferk. I can see Ferk being a scratch or minor league taxi squad guy. Andreas Anthony, Blake Lizotte, and Jeff Carter on the 3rd line. I mean, Carter, same type of thing. He's 35. He's at the downturn of his career, not the peak. So, I think they have him for another 2 years. So, he'll probably be 3rd line for the next 2 years. He's not first line anymore like he used to be. Carl Grundstrom, Jarrett Anderson-Dolan, and Austin Wagner. That's the 4th line. Good young line there. Pretty quick line, too. Oli Mata and Drew Doughty, first defensive pair. Michael Anderson and Matt Roy, 2nd pair. Curtis McDermott and Sean Walker, 2nd pair. I mean, if Sean Walker's making that amount, he should probably be playing on the 2nd D pair at least. But Curtis McDermott probably will be in and out of the lineup, is my guess. He's more of a rough and tumble defender than a offensive guy for sure. Jonathan Quick and Cal Peterson are the goalies. I think Cal Peterson is going to be the starter, and Quick is probably going to be the backup, is my guess. As long as he's healthy, because like I said, he's had some serious health issues the last few years. Except, what was it, last season? Or the season before, he played that first game against the Sharks, and he blew out his ankle or knee for the entire season. It's I feel bad that happened, but it's that's just not a pleasant injury for a goalie, that's for sure. He has not been the same since that injury, that's for sure. He's been in and out with issues with that leg for a while now. And the scratches, they got Amadio, Moore, and Clegg. Alright, Taxi Squad, according to this list, has Elias Anderson and Matt Luff. And Grosnick and, like I said, Alt may plug in here and there for injuries. Training camp roster, they got Samuel Fagemo, Akil Thomas, and Tyler Madden. 3 more offensive prospects for them who may get time this year too. And we'll see how this whole taxi squad thing works out, because I'm not sure how that works so far. I don't know if they've released any full details on how this is all going to work. I'm not even sure they've fully worked it out, honestly. Alright, loaned, they have Quinn Byfield, who, like I said, I think he needs another year or two to really solidify his game. I mean, he just turned 18, like, just before he was drafted. So he needs another probably year or two. Alex Turcotte's probably ready. He has not had a great offensive World Juniors. I mean, I don't think he's had a breakout game offensively yet. He may have a point or two here or there, but that's about it. He's been a solid player, but he just has not had the offense I think they expected of him so far. Because like Kaliev has had a great World Juniors for them, for the U.S. So I think they were hoping for more offense from Turcotte, but like I said, he's been solid the whole time. So you're not always looking for just offense. You're looking for solid all-around play. And Tobias Bjornfoot played some games last year, probably will play some more this year. I mean, you look at the names of the loan players that they loaned over to Europe, it's top prospects mostly. So it's not surprising who was there. Prospect-wise, they have, like I said, Helga Grans, Brock Faber. I want to say Faber is playing for Team USA right now in the World Juniors too. I think Grans is playing for Sweden. So I think LA had the most prospects playing in the World Juniors this year. I think they had like 11 or 12, which is just a ridiculously high number. So I think my team, the Ducks, had 6 or 7, and they were tied for like 3rd or 4th most. Quinn Byfield, 82 points in 45 games is their top prospect. Like I said, they may play him this year, but I think he would be better served having another year at least in the juniors. Because, I mean, I don't know. I think the juniors have started playing, at least some of them. Because the Canadian government, like I said, has a lot of stipulations on them that they have not liked thus far. Like the no-hitting portion especially. And they have to stay like 6 feet apart at all times on the ice. Something ridiculous like that. It's like, how do you play a contact sport 6 feet apart? Makes no sense. I mean, for some of the shorter players, you can't even go near the other guy because their stick isn't even 6 foot long. It's like for someone like Zdeno Chara, yeah, you could do that. His stick's like 7 foot long. So, not surprising he could play, but, I mean, not everybody's his size. So, it's not possible. Alright, their second highest, after my tangent there, second highest prospect is Alex Turcotte, 26 points in 29 NCAA games. He may be on the taxi squad, or he's going to play in the lineup. Because he signed a contract, he can't go back to NCAA. And I don't think he's junior eligible because he played in NCAA. I believe is how the rules are. I could be wrong, but I believe those are the rules. So he's either AHL or NHL. And AHL, they announced yesterday, is starting February 4th. So anybody who watches AHL, that's when it starts. Third prospect, Arthur Kaliev, 98 points in 57 OHL games. I was surprised he slipped to second round last year. I mean, he's definitely an offensive prospect, but I'm kind of surprised he fell where he did. Gabriel, I'm sure LA was too. They were probably happy they got him. Gabriel Velarde, 7 points in 10 NHL games. I think he's going to be playing all season this year for sure for them. 25 points in 32 AHL games. Looks like a solid prospect there as well. Like I said, Tobias Bjornfoot, 0 points in 3 NHL games. From what I understand about his game, he's not an offensive guy, so it's not surprising he has 0 points. He's more of a defensive defender. 19 points in 44 AHL games. So I think he'll play more this year. Others mentioned as top prospects that I could find. Samuel Fagemo, I believe is how you properly pronounce his name. I want to say it was Fagemo. I think is what they've been saying. He's a winger. Mikey Anderson, a defender. Why did I write Mikey? I think his name is Michael. I don't know why I wrote Mikey. Kyle Clegg, a defender. Tyler Madden, a center that got in the trade with the Toffoli trade from Vancouver last year. Solid college defender, or forward. And then Rasmus Kupari, another forward. So their prospects are majority forwards. They're going to be very good forward team coming up here soon. I still think, honestly, looking at them objectively, they probably will be a bottom team in the division they're in. It's not they don't have talent, is that they have a lot of young talent who is going to need to grow. And like I said, they finished last year with like 20 wins in like 21 games or something like that to end the season, which is ridiculously good. And like I said, these are just predictions. I could be very, very wrong on all these. And everything changes based off of who has what injuries at what time. So, like I said, I'm guessing they're going to be a bottom range team. Just because you got Colorado, St. Louis, and Vegas who are going to be the three best teams in that division. After that, it's kind of a toss-up as to who's going to be next. Because Arizona's lost a lot. And they just lost Derek Stepan in a trade. Not that he was providing a lot of offense and was hurt quite often, but he is still losing someone good like that. Anaheim, you don't know what you're going to get, because, I mean, for God's sakes, if Trevor Zegras plays the way he's been playing in this World Juniors, they may be really good offensively compared to how they have been the last 2-3 years. Minnesota, I mean, they got rid of a lot, but they still have a lot of good young players. San Jose still has probably the best, on paper, defensive core in the league. I mean, you got Erik Karlsson, Brent Burns, and Marc-Edouard Vlasic. I don't know if you're going to get another year after 2 years straight where they're just awful. I mean, last year, you watched Erik Karlsson. My God, he was terrible. I'll get to San Jose. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent again. St. Louis, definitely going to be a top team, and Vegas is going to be a top team. So, LA could finish as high as 4th, but they could also finish as low as the bottom of the division. I still think Anaheim's going to be at the bottom, but LA could finish below them, because, between those two, they have a lot of young guys playing on their teams this year. So, I think there's going to be growing pains. They may start out very good. And, it's a shortened season, so maybe they continue it, because usually you see a lot of those guys who are coming out from junior college, they start out really good, and then they taper off once you get to around the 50-game mark, because they're not used to playing as long as the NHLers are. So we'll see how it works out, but like I said, they could be bottom to middle of their division. So good luck to LA. I wish them all the best. They got probably the best prospect list in the entire league. So good luck, because honestly, they probably have I think they had something like 22 prospects in the top 100 this year or something like that. It was some ridiculously high number. Basically a whole team's worth. But they have a bright future. It may not be this year, but it's going to be coming up here real quick. But they also are going to have a lot of cap issues coming up real quick because of all those young, amazingly good, talented guys when those contracts run out. So good luck in the future. You're probably going to have a lot of cap issues here soon enough, but good luck for now, because you're probably going to have some really good seasons here coming up, but I don't think it's this year. I think this year is a growing year for a lot of them. So, good luck. And like I said before, if you're a subscriber and watching, thank you for watching. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I drop a new video. And other than that, make sure to hit the like, the share, and the comment button. And I will see you all next video. And I believe, actually, Minnesota is the next video. So, see you all soon. Bye.